Yo, what up? It's me, Nails, here again with another book review. This time a horror novel, a classic from 1971, haunted house horror novel called Hell House by Richard Matheson. A book which I am ashamed to have read and I do not recommend, and I'll explain why. A lot of tropes, albeit well delivered in this book, and stellar writing as usual. Tight, to the point, believable enough. Um, what sets it apart among many quality similar haunted house novels? That is this eerie, lingering, sickening sense of claustrophobic, like you're being fed off by demonic leeches using your misplaced sexual energy. If you let that inner uncontained potential animal inside of you out to the point where vices, as the original Belasco cult that the former now deceased inhabitants of this house gave into, to the point of getting to sadistic tendencies in a negative reinforcement style group context that allowed for supposed most likely demonic forces to come in. That sort of is so well investigated by an open-minded author that it is genuinely revolting and chilling, and that stands out in my memory. So I'd say it's engaging, but it could be self-deceptive and it could be harmful to your spirit overall over time. So me trying to be a moral person throughout my life constantly, though having some flaws, but like my excessively curious mind at times, especially curious about the idea that is also explored in the novel a great deal, investments of negative energy inhabiting a place and then somehow compelling further victims or people possessed of similar negative energy. Also interestingly demonstrated in a book like The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, with that one character, like floater woman who has no identity and is ultimately consumed by Hill House. It's similar in that regard, and so as a cautionary narrative it works, but I can't responsibly recommend to anyone. And although it was sort of fun to uncover the mystery and the pulp and the shocks of what ultimately occurs, disgusting as it is good on a horror novel. And I have to give credit where credit's due in terms of its construction and delivery, especially with good, believable, immersive writing like Matheson always delivers. Even better in books like I Am Legend, for example, one of my favorites. Overall, it is another level of extremity, which I don't know if that's particular to the 70s or if it was ahead of its time, because I was under always the assumption that the further back you go in American history, culture more or less suppressed or shut out like horror stories that went to extreme places like this and uncovered an aspect of humanity that frankly we don't want to see too much for a reason, but that's part of the mysterious investigation of what brings us there in the first place most of the time. And that is a level of discomfort and vulnerability that I wasn't prepared for, and that's something that I think people should be sensitive to if they want to pollute their minds with shit like this. So I don't know if I've ever been more divided on how to give a rating to a book like this, or whether or not to recommend it to anyone, because I don't feel morally, I honestly feel not responsible recommending it, because it is a deceptive, negative experience overall. Now, if you're a crazy horror fanatic, do your thing. That in and of itself just might be all the recommendation you need to just go for it and just be like, okay, that's exactly what I'm looking for. But if you're in that category already, you're far less sensitive than me. It might not give you the fix that you're looking for, so I apologize if I'm overselling it accidentally by condemning it. And so yes, it's a very disturbing, confusing experience, legitimately, and it holds up and to me feels ahead of its time in that regard, as more and more art pieces that Western civilization collectively validates demonstrate an increased perversity and degeneracy that I typically didn't associate with something that was published 50 years ago like this. So anyway, it has surprisingly stuck with me and haunted my memories in a way that is genuinely confusing as it is sickening, and so much so that I don't know whether that's a compliment or a point of criticism or both. And ultimately, I just want to stop talking about this. So I give Hell House an 8 out of 10, only for hardcore horror fans. Don't read it. I don't recommend it to anyone else. Any books of similar quality, send me your recommendations, please. Thank you. So this lighting was weird, but whatever. Oh. And now my review of Mountain Dew Orange Citrus Kickstar Soda. Tastes like an orange. And by that I mean corrosive industrialized chemicals that are processed. You put it in your body and you convince yourself that you feel good. And those demonic entities investments of negative energy that slowly poison you and pull you down to hell and make you feel good. But this one has less sugar than the average energy drink. It's only 17 grams. There's only 33% of your daily value. And it tastes great too. You should definitely buy and drink and consume and put Mountain Dew Orange Kickstart flavorings into your body because this is really good for you.